Yeah. It's happening. Just got done getting a little workout in real quick. Yeah, man. So, excuse the sweaty shirt, but finna get ready ahead and go take a shower right now. Yeah. But yeah, man, while I had this on my mind, man, I just wanted to record this video real quick. Man, you'll definitely start thinking differently when you become responsible for your own equipment. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you go into truck stops and you see those trucks that's parked the opposite way of everybody else, you know, they park, if you didn't know, you know, they parking like that for a reason. And I remember when I first came in the game, I didn't really have no clue why they was parked, why you would see trucks parked the opposite way like that. At first, I thought it was because they was handicapped. You know what I'm saying? Because they had some type of inability to back in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I thought that. I don't know why I thought that, because you have to be physically able. You have to pass certain requirements to operate a truck. So, and I don't know if somebody told me that because they was handicapped or some shit like that. I think my trainer told me that. And that just always stuck in my head. But no, that ain't it. For one thing, anytime you see a truck parked the opposite way like that, that means that those drivers are responsible for their own shit. They're responsible for their own equipment, and they're responsible for their own fuel. And, you know, either them drivers know something or they just been in the game in a while. They've been in the game a while to understand and know certain things. And from what I was told by my mentor, drivers parked the opposite way like that is for one main reason is to protect themselves from getting their fuel stolen. You know, drivers be stealing fuel out here. You know, you can be parked, somebody can be parked right next to you. They can walk past your truck, tap on your fuel tank. And if your fuel tank sound hollow, it might, you know what I'm saying, you ain't even really got no fuel in there if it sound hollow. But if they tap on your fuel tank and it sound full and it don't make no echo sound, that's an indicator that you got some fuel up in there. And it's easy for them to stick some type of holes in your tank, you know what I'm saying, and siphon their fuel on out into their tank. Yeah, that shit happens out here. It ain't happened to me yet, but it's something that that's known to happen out here. So that's a reason why you see those truckers parked the opposite way like that. Another reason why a lot of those truckers park the opposite way is to protect their trucks from getting hit, especially when you parking in these, what I would say, commercial truck stops. You know, Love's, Flying J, Pilot, TA, Petro, those truck stops. And in those truck stops, man, you got a lot of rookies and more inexperienced drivers that park in those spots. You know, one reason they park in those spots because they working for companies that have accounts with these major truck stops. You know, so a lot of these companies are directing their drivers to go to these truck stops. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, even as a driver, you use the fuel and shit, you get perks and free showers and points and all that different type of stuff. So you're gonna have a whole lot more inexperienced and rookie drivers in these truck stops. And the more of those that you have in the truck stops, the more chances is gonna be likely that your truck can get hit. You know what I'm saying? And when you become responsible for your own equipment, man, you ain't got time for that shit. You know, when I drove company, I didn't give a fuck about none of that shit. I parked in the major truck stops if I could. You know what I'm saying? Rookies and inexperienced drivers going to those major truck stops, it's like being moths attracted to a flame. Cause I was the same way. That's all I used to go to. Gotta find a Love's, gotta find a Pilot or TA or something like that. But as I've learned through time, man, I've started to think differently. especially when you become responsible for your own equipment. Now, today, I had no problem with parking at some off-the-grid spot. You know, some off-the-grid or some not-so-name brand truck stop, mom-and-pop spots. You know, hell, I was just in Kansas City, coming from Kansas City yesterday, and I had to park overnight on some country road. And I was just lucky to find, as a matter of fact, as I was driving down this country road, and this was at night, I was able to see like it was a open gravel spot. And I had to stop and reverse back and park in there. And it turns out right across the street, it's a bunch of fucking cows right lined up across the gate. I mean, they gang. All of them staring at me. That shit was kind of creepy, but you know, I've been out here long enough, man. I'm used to finding different places to park. Like, I don't really care about having to park in no top truck stop. Now, like my company, they got an account with Loves. I think we just got a account with TA and Petro, but I've been used to going to Loves, so I do use Loves for showers, and of course, you know, they want you to go to Loves and use their fuel and things of that nature. So I go to Loves a lot for their showers. Like even right now, I'm not parked at Loves. I parked at an off-brand truck stop. But I'm about to go to Loves on my way back home, stop in there, get showered up real quick. So, you know what I'm saying? The longer you out here, man, the more you will figure out how to move when you're in different positions. Like I say, or I say before, man, when you a company driver, man, you really got less worries. Less worries. But when you're responsible for your own equipment, you're gonna find yourself thinking about a whole lot more shit. A whole lot. You know, you don't care about, when you're a company driver, you don't care about fueling up the truck. When you're responsible for your own fuel, you start paying attention to this shit. You gotta pay attention to everything. Everything. But me, I don't mind parking in off-brand spots. Let me see. So right now, I really barely have to use this, the Ultimate Truck Parking Guide. But I had bought this last year sometime, man, and it just got all kind of, you know, places you could park at. You know what I'm saying? Use this in conjunction with whatever app you use. But yeah, man, a lot of I mean, I know this as a rookie, and as my time as an unexperienced driver, you know, a lot of people don't be trip planning, fam. A lot of people don't trip plan. And a lot of people would drive down to their last few minutes and then have to find a parking space. Or they driving down to the last few minutes that they got and they find a major truck stop. They like I said, we like moths to a flame. Company drivers, you know, well, inexperienced, rookies, whatever. We like moths to a flame. You just looking for the next truck stop, major truck stop to park at. And a lot of times after a certain time, it ain't no parking spaces. So people just start creating parking spaces. You know what I'm saying? And this is why when you're responsible for your own equipment, you'll start thinking different. Because you know the shit that can happen in these trucking lots or these, you know, truck stops, man. Especially when you parking, you creating a parking spot on the end of a parking road where you ain't supposed to be, and then the inexperienced drivers coming through that way and they trying to make a turn, they trying to make a left turn or a right turn and they cut too close. Trailer tear your front end off. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Owner operator, I just say a person that's responsible for their own equipment, man. We ain't got time for this shit, so I ain't got no problem parking off the grid. You know, it make it more fun, to be honest with you. It's how you find shit, little low-key spots. For real, for real. So, was there something else I wanted to touch on? I think that was about it, man. How your mind will change when you own your own equipment. I mean, this subject can go on and on, but yeah, I was just thinking about like when I used to wonder why did these trucks park the opposite way. Now I understand. Now I understand. Or, for instance, I drive up and down I-65 in Indiana a lot. And I'll say more of the northern part of I-65 in Indiana. It's parts on the road, on the right side of the road, to where the road is just fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's real bumpy. It's real bumpy. And I can tell when I'm riding on that road who the company drivers are and who the owner operators are, because a person that's responsible for their own equipment, when I'm riding on this part of the road, everybody that's getting off into the left lane, even when they not even trying to pass the driver in the right lane, the people that's getting off in the left lane, most likely those are people that's responsible for their own equipment, man, because that road is nasty. That shit is nasty work, man. It just don't feel good driving your truck over some of these pothole. I mean, the road ain't even got potholes in it. The potholes is filled, but it's just so bumpy, you know. You in places where it's snow and we get bad winters, man, the road be fucked up. So yeah, you can kind of tell, man, because I know when I was a company driver, I didn't give a damn. I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? I'm driving, and them people who stay off in the right lane and they go over that bumpy shit, they probably not responsible for their own equipment. Most likely they not. So you know, when you get into this part of the game, if you in a part of this game, you understand what I'm talking about. You would definitely start to think different about a lot of shit. But man, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I ain't nobody, man. I'm just another trucker. Gone.